Hello, and welcome to the webinar on the Masters of Science in Finance at Golden Gate University. I'm really excited that you joined us today. My name is Andrea Anthony. I'm the chair of the Finance and Economics Department here at GGU, and so I'll be the one walking you through a little bit about our MSF degree and a little bit about GGU as a whole today for this webinar. So what are we going to do today? So first things first, I'll just tell you a little bit about the university so you get a sense of who we are, what we're about. Then we'll meet some of our faculty, get to know them. We'll dive into the specifics of the MS in Finance degree. So we'll kind of look at who are our current students, what are the learning outcomes, what does the curriculum look like, and we'll wrap up that section with a discussion of comparing an MBA versus an MSF. And I know that's a popular question for many students when they're at this stage of kind of researching schools and researching degrees. We'll conclude the presentation discussing the different student resources that we offer our students here at GGU. So what sets GGU apart? The biggest one here is our faculty, and they're made up of about 70% of practicing experts in their field, and about 30% of the faculty in the finance department are full-time PhD faculty. So a little bit later in the presentation, we'll get into why that's such a strength and why that's such a big deal, but that's probably our number one thing that sets GGU apart from other universities. The next one would be our flexibility. So we offer almost all of our classes in person, almost all of our classes online, and then you can also do a combination of those two. So maybe in one semester you want to take one class in person and you want to take two classes online, or whatever works for your schedule. Our classes that are in person also only meet one day a week in the evening. So basically the whole structure of the program is designed for flexibility. We don't do a cohort system. So we don't require that you all start at the same time and finish at the same time. You can go at your own pace. You can speed up or slow down depending on family commitments or work commitments. So it really gives our students a lot of opportunities and options to try to get that degree completed. The next big thing about what makes us special is that we're located in the financial district. We're a finance degree and you're surrounded by so many different companies, and most of our faculty, honest to goodness, walk to GGU after their job to then teach at GGU. So it's a really neat opportunity to have so many people working so close by. That being said, we also have a lot of alumni close by as well as far away. So you can see on this slide we have 68,000 plus alumni from GGU. And again, part of that is that we are 117 years old. We've been around a long time. There's a lot of people who know our name and have come from GGU, and that is helpful again for your networking opportunities later down the road when you're working with our career services department. They will be bringing alumni in for panel discussions and networking opportunities, etc. So the other big difference is that we're a nonprofit university. So again, we're all about the students. We're trying to make sure everything we do is to provide accessibility and quality for the students. So one kind of signal to us that we're doing a good job and what we're saying is that we have been ranked #1 for adult learners by Washington Monthly Magazine 2 years straight. So what does that mean? That means that we have those flexible class options, those evening classes. We have a lot of great online resources for our students. Even with the in-person classes, we still offer a lot of online support structure, etc. So there's just a lot of things built in that help those adult learners that are different than maybe those standard 4-year large state schools. So again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, our greatest strength at GGU is our faculty. And so why is that? These people are subject matter experts. They're in the trenches. They're doing the job now. Why is that important to have a little bit of those people and a little bit of the PhDs? Well, the reason that these practitioner professors are so valuable to our students is two reasons. One is they know what's hot in the field. They know the challenges in the field. They know all the current systems or data or etc., all the problems that are going on in that field because they're doing it. And so they can apply that and use that in the classroom. And so it's extremely relevant what you're learning in the class. The second big opportunity for our students by having these practitioner professors is the networking opportunities for their career growth. So if you have a professor that has a career in something that is interesting to you or that you want to learn more about, you've created this relationship with this very senior person in that field, and you can leverage that to start networking and start meeting the right people and talking to the right people so that you can ask questions and find out more information and possibly lead you to opportunities to find a new job if that's what you're interested in. So these practitioner professors are a really special part of Golden Gate University, and all of our programs emphasize this opportunity for our students. You'll still also have those full-time PhD professors that really know the theory, but I think every single one of our full-time faculty at GGU in the finance department has had practitioner experience before they went to graduate school. So for example, myself, I worked in corporate finance. I worked for the Boeing company. I was part of the selling team, selling aircraft. I was also on the FP&A team at the corporate level. So I've done a lot of these jobs that I'm teaching in the classrooms. And that's, again, it's a part of what GGU is all about, is having that practitioner model applied in the classroom. So like I mentioned earlier, the big leverage or opportunity for us is that we're located in the financial district, and we're constantly trying to leverage that opportunity by having different panels and having different networking opportunities for our students on campus. And we're definitely able to get a pretty good showing at almost all of those because of where we're located. So it's a really nice opportunity to interest cool adjunct professors. They're willing to come teach for us because they can literally walk from their office to GGU's campus. It's also great for bringing our alumni back and leveraging that as well. So I wanted to introduce you to a few of our faculty. So first I will introduce you to Yvette Hollingsworth-Clark. So she currently is teaching 2 classes for us at GGU. She's teaching our financial reporting and analysis class, and she's teaching a really unique class. It's called Corporate Compliance and Ethics, and this is actually co-taught by the finance department and the law school. So she teaches the class as well as a law professor, and law students as well as finance students are able to register for the class. So a little bit about who she is and why she's teaching these classes. So she's currently an executive vice president at Wells Fargo. She has been in regulatory affairs and financial crimes and all of that in that area for her almost her entire career, including working for the Federal Reserve. What's unique about Yvette is she's very, very busy, has a really very interesting and demanding job, especially at Wells Fargo right now in her area. But she's really excited to have that opportunity to engage the students and share what she's learned and meet you guys. And so I think that's a really cool opportunity for a lot of our students to get to meet these executive vice presidents, understand their backgrounds, and learn, hear their stories, understand what's going on right now, why is that important, how are they handling things, and be able to ask questions. So it's a neat opportunity. Another one of our professors is Margaret Kim. She teaches our Finance 318, which is our venture capital and startup financing. She had a very, very long career. First, she started as an investment banker. She did her MBA at Harvard, was an investment banker in New York, and then switched over, moved to San Francisco and got into life sciences, venture debt, and venture capital. So you can see she was with GE Capital Corp for 16 years doing venture debt and venture capital. As part of that role, she would be a director on boards or observe boards. She would provide strategic and financial and IPO guidance for these startups. So not only was she in the part of the process of deciding where to invest, she was also in that process of, once they invested, making sure that they got the return they needed and understanding where those companies needed help and how they could help. And she's now currently with JP Morgan, also in venture capital. So she's had a long career in this field, and she's the perfect person to be teaching these classes. And she's really engaged with our students. She gets the highest teaching scores, all 5 out of 5s across the board on all the areas. The students really appreciate her class and really appreciate getting to know her. Lastly, the last professor I'll introduce you to is Raj Sharma. So he's currently a hedge fund manager. He teaches our Finance 344, which is equity analysis. So all of our investment concentration students have to take his class. It's a required class for our investment students. He's had a long career doing lots of different things in portfolio management, but he's seen all the different pieces. And so he specializes in fundamental research. He understands what they're doing and how they're doing it, and he's moved to what are the new latest and greatest things. So his company is really applying machine learning techniques to all of their different investing tools and methods. And so he kind of combines both of those as well in the classroom. So it's a really unique opportunity for students to kind of ask, how do you do this? Why do you do this? What are your clients asking for? What is the process? So it's a neat opportunity, again, for our students to have him in the classroom. So now I'll just go into a little bit about our alumni in the MS in Finance degree. So you can see that we have a lot of alumni at Kaiser, we have a lot of alumni at Wells Fargo, PG&E, Deloitte, Gilead, Ernst & Young, PwC, Cisco, Oracle, Genentech. Obviously, we have a lot of alumni in a lot of different places, but these are just sort of the largest ones, and this information was pulled from LinkedIn. So I know we have more alumni out there, but that's just the LinkedIn data wasn't quite perfect. So how does our program look? So how does it work? So again, you can take classes at your own pace. Most classes are offered both in person and online. You're not required to stay with one or the other. You can take both or all in person, all online, or a mixture of the two. We have an evening class schedule for our in-person classes, so it's either 4 to 6:40 or 6:50 to 9:30. And the nice thing is the class is only offered 1 day a week. So students really can target what works for their work and their family commitments to make sure that they can still attend class. We have 3 semesters, or I should say trimesters. We have a fall trimester from August to December, spring trimester from January to April, and then a summer trimester from May to August. A lot of universities offer the fall and the spring term, but it's very quiet in the summer and there's not many classes offered, and so it's hard for students who do want to take classes in the summer to find the classes they need. GGU is not like that. We offer just as many classes in the summer as we do in the fall and the spring. Again, we're targeted towards adult learners. We're targeting working professionals. We understand that you're trying to get the degree completed as quickly as you can, and we want to give you those opportunities. So the nice part is if you are someone who knows they want to take classes in the summer, we have just as many classes available to you. There are students, however, who know that they don't want to take classes in the summer. And again, because we're not a cohort system, that's okay. You can drop out for the summer and join us again in the fall. So there's just a lot of flexibility. Here's a little bit about our current enrolled students. So we have 94 students currently enrolled in the program. The average age of our students is 31. Students take an average of 2 years to complete the MSF in Finance degree. Again, because we're not a cohort, some students do it faster and some students do it slower, just depending on what's going on and what they need. We are currently have a mix of 60% men, 40% women. We have approximately 48% enrolled as international students. Part-time students make up about 63% of our total enrollment, and nearly 70% of students take at least some classes online. So that flexibility, again, is often used, even for the students who plan to take most of the classes in person. So these are the learning outcomes for the MS in Finance degree. So what does that mean? That means that when you graduate from Golden Gate University with a Master's of Science in Finance degree, you will walk away with a firm understanding of all of these different areas. So we take special attention to make sure they're covered, and not one, not two, but many classes, that they're overlapping, that they're repeated, so that way you're comfortable and aware and you're qualified to answer any questions related to these topics. So rather than read through every single one in detail, I think I'll just pause for a moment and let you have an opportunity to read them. And if you need more time, these learning outcomes are reported on our website, as well as a lot of our handouts and our degree information. So you always have more time to take a look. So this is our current MS in Finance curriculum. So these are the classes you will need to take to graduate. So first you would start in the foundation program, which are basically accounting, econ, finance, and math. But many of these classes are potentially waived. If you've taken them classes as an undergraduate and you received a certain level grade, then those potentially can be waived. So many students begin in the core program. If you haven't had experience or did not receive strong grades in those foundation programs, and you might need to start there, and then eventually you'll meet us in the core program. So then everybody starts or continues with the core program, and the core program is taken by all students no matter what their concentration. And so these are sort of the building blocks or the tool set for all of finance. So you have markets and institutions, corporate finance, financial statement analysis, financial modeling, and investments. The modeling class is a really neat opportunity. Often students highlight this class on their resume. Employers often ask about it. Not only are they doing in-depth analysis and modeling in Excel, but they are using other software as well, and it is a full, semester long on just really improving their modeling skills, and it's a great opportunity to highlight that when you are back on the job market. Once you complete the core program, you move on to a concentration. So you have to choose one of the 3 concentrations. It's corporate, investment management, or general. All the general concentration is just saying you have an interest in the broad field of finance. You want to take a little bit of corporate finance. You want to take a little bit of investment management. So we give you that option that the general concentration is sort of you make your own concentration. But I often encourage students to choose between corporate finance and investment management if they can, because it gives employers an opportunity to understand sort of what they were doing and what they're walking away with, what their degree is really emphasizing. So this is what the corporate finance concentration looks like. There are 3 required classes, and then there are 3 electives. And so in total, you'll take 6 classes, and that's consistent amongst all the different concentrations. So all 3 concentrations require the same number of classes, just a different mix of what classes you take. The investment management investment management concentration looks a little bit different. They have 4 required classes and then 2 electives. And then the general concentration is where you simply choose any 6 courses amongst the finance and econ offerings. So I'd like to close this section that's specific to the degree with a short discussion comparing an MBA to a Master's of Science in Finance. So what I've done is on the left-hand side is the GGU MBA curriculum with a concentration in finance. And on the right-hand side is the Master's of Science in Finance curriculum here at GGU. And on the bottom of the right-hand side, I list both concentrations. As we discussed earlier in the presentation, you would only choose one of those. When you take a look specifically just, at the big picture, the MBA is obviously a lot longer. There are more classes than the MSF. But in addition, you're taking a much broader set of classes. So you can see things like marketing, operations, IT management, teamwork, communications, leadership, etc. So you're really seeing a very broad subset of classes, whereas the actual number of finance classes you take is fairly minimal. It's you will take the MBA 321, which is an intro finance class. Then you will take Finance 300, which is our standard corporate finance class that all of our MS and finance students take, and then you can choose 3 more electives. As an MSF student, you obviously dive much deeper. As you can see, you're really getting into the nuts and bolts of either investment management or corporate finance. And again, that's an opportunity for our students to really become subject matter experts in that field. So if we're trying to compare and contrast these 2 degrees, as I mentioned here, the MSF is shorter with 45 units compared to the MBA program, which has 54 units. The MSF gets to the point faster with 27 units in the core compared to 42 for the MBA. Also, the MSF core is more focused specifically on finance topics. The MSF goes deeper into the field with 18 units in the concentration compared to 12 units for the MBA. So overall, what do I tell my students? I often just say it depends on where you're at in your career, where your weaknesses are, and what you think it's going to take to get to that next step in your career. If you're really lacking on leadership, communications, marketing management, kind of a broader understanding of business as a whole, then the MBA is an appropriate degree. If, however, you think that becoming a subject matter expert or a more experienced person in the finance field will help set you apart and give you that next step, then the MSF is certainly that indicator to an employer or to a boss that you have made that step and that you definitely are a senior type of a finance person comparatively to where you were before. So it just sort of depends on what you're trying to do with your career and where you're at right now. What are your personal gaps and what are your next steps? So next I'd like to talk about some of the resources we provide our students. The first one I'd like to talk about is our partnership with the CFA Institute. So GGU is currently a university affiliate program. So what does that mean? That means at least 70% of the CFA curriculum is covered in our courses. The biggest piece or opportunity for our students is that it's a signal to employers by being an affiliate university that our degree is closely tied to the CFA curriculum, is closely tied to the current practice of investment management. So it allows our students to sort of display that for prospective employers. The other opportunity and resource that this gives our students is that we have scholarships to award our students who are sitting for the CFA exam. So many of you know the CFA exam is very expensive test to take, and we offer a significant discount on that exam if you're awarded one of those scholarships. Another opportunity with being closely affiliated with the CFA Institute is we can offer our students a discount on prep classes that are offered through the Society of San Francisco CFA. Another great resource that we offer our students is we have an investment research club here at Golden Gate University. The Investment Research Club is the most active club on campus. So they meet regularly, there's high attendance, it's a really well-liked club. Some of the things that they do pitches, presentations, they'll have panelists, they'll have other presenters come in, they'll watch finance-related movies, they'll have movie nights. They're advised by a seasoned institutional investor, so they work closely with people in the field and in the industry. One of the big activities that the Research Club works on is they participate in the CFA Investment Research Challenge. So this is a challenge where all the different Northern California universities compete against each other. They have current CFA charter holders as judges for the challenge. And we've been lucky enough, or not lucky enough, we've been skilled enough to win first prize in 2017, and we received third place in 2018, and so our performance even before that has been strong for a long time. So this is another opportunity for our students to network with current CFA charter holders and get a better sense of what's going on in the industry and what the CFA society is like and what opportunities it might have. The last thing I want to mention specific to our degree is that we're really excited about a new class we have offered, which is FI 356. This is our Student Managed Investment Fund. So we have real money from the university endowment that our students are managing. And so this class is dedicated to that real and hands-on experience of portfolio management. So they will be doing pitches on stocks, they'll be doing presentations on sectors, and they will get to decide via voting, the students themselves, what to buy and what to sell in that portfolio. And so we're really excited to have this opportunity for our students to manage real money. And again, it's just another opportunity, something to put on your resume to give you that experience and that understanding. So to conclude the presentation, I just wanted to talk about the many, many student resources that Golden Gate University offers our students. So again, this is another thing that I think sets GGU apart from many of the other universities around, is just how substantial our staff is when it comes to trying to support our students. So obviously the faculty side, we're trying to have excellence in the classroom, and we're very dedicated to that. But outside the classroom, GGU also does a really terrific job supporting our students. So we have a great academic advising team. We offer free tutoring for our students. We have 24/7 tech support, so you're never scrambling without a real human to try to help you figure out if you're having challenges or issues and with your online class, etc. We offer great disability services, counseling, mentorship, and we have an excellent library and research services. On that list, you notice that I mentioned tutoring. I wanted to highlight how that tutoring works. So we offer tutoring both in person and online. And the tutoring, we have tutors in math, in writing, finance, and accounting. So specifically that finance tutor, he or she will be sitting in the library on campus for many hours during the week to support our students. And we specifically have those tutors there in the evening when the students need them. They're also available online if getting to campus is a challenge or you're struggling on the weekend, etc., and you want to try to set up time to chat. But it's a really nice opportunity that our students use quite frequently when they want a quick question or a longer question, or they want someone to take a look at what they're working on and help walk them through it. It's a really nice perk that we have. The last resource that I really wanted to highlight is our Office of Career Planning. So this is not only a resource for our current students, it's also a resource for all of our alumni. So once you leave GGU, you can always come back and take advantage of these things. So what does this Office of Career Planning provide? They will look over your resume and critique it. They will do mock interviews with you if you're trying to prepare and practice before an interview. They will offer networking events, both in person and online, which is a really nice opportunity for our online students. They provide job fairs as well as internship fairs. They support you in those searches and help give you advice and tips if you're looking for a new job or an internship. They offer a lot of different workshops and webinars on different career consulting topics, how to look for a new job, how to talk to a boss about a raise, how do you network, what is the best way, challenges when you're trying to find a new job. They offer a lot of great resources and like I said, real life feedback and help while you're working on that. So again, thank you so much for joining us. That's the end of our webinar today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. My email is aanthony@ggu.edu. Thank you so much, and I hope to be meeting you soon.